Can I ask him a
Hello.
two-part question? Oh,
Mr. President,
Hey, guys.
hi.
it's Ryan Seacrest in Sicily. How are you, sir?
I am doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and this is an important day to talk to you because this is National Voter Registration Day. We want to make sure that everybody is getting out there and in a position to exercise their constitutional right to vote in November.
Yes, sir. We were talking about that earlier and also taking a lot of calls today from around the country about the debate last night. Where did you watch?
I watch in the treaty room where I'm sitting there and I've got a big stack of work. So in between all the memos that I got, I was enjoying what was a pretty vigorous debate about where we need to take our country.
Does when you watch it and you hear them talking about you, does anything frustrate you? Do you get heated about anything when you hear your name?
Well, if I got heated about stuff that's said about me, at this point I would have be even more gray than I already am. So, I've developed a pretty thick skin, but look, anybody who was watching the debate, I think, got a sense that you've got really sharply contrasting visions about where we should take the country. And I'm admittedly biased. I have worked with Hillary. I know her. She is well prepared. She's got the right temperament for the job. She's well respected around the world. She's serious. She does her homework. And she's got a vision to put people back to work and make sure that the economy is working for everybody and not just the few. And I would say that the other guy doesn't have the preparation, the temperament, or the core values of inclusion and making everybody have opportunity that would take our country forward. But look, the main thing that I want to communicate to everybody who's listening is that every election's a big election. This one's especially big just because there's such big differences between the two candidates, and people need to register to vote. So we've got a website, iwillvote.com, iwillvote.com, and you can text forward to 47246, 47246. Get information about the place in your state where you can vote online, or where your precinct is. A lot of states now you can vote by mail. In fact, in a lot of places, folks are already starting to vote, and that makes a big difference. You can't complain. You can't sit home and gripe about how terrible Washington is or how unfair this or that is if you're sitting on the sidelines and not participating.
No, it's true. We were talking here about make sure you educate yourself on what's important to you. Only you can decide what matters to you, especially young Americans in this election. They could really determine what's going to happen. A lot of people that I talked to went in kind of undecided last night, and they did form some opinions after the debate. So it is important to make sure and check to make sure you are registered to vote and what your status is. You could do that at that website, iwillvote.com. Mr. President, I saw you were opening at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History at that opening. And President Bush and his wife were there. And did you take over the phone to take a selfie? He couldn't figure out the selfie there?
You know what? Bush was having a few problems with the phone, and I was happy to take the picture. The advantage I have over him, in fairness, is I've got two teenage daughters. His daughters are a little older, which means that even though I don't have a smartphone myself, I have gotten full instructions from Malia and Sasha in terms of how to do this stuff. In fact, Sasha, I think, gave me a 45-minute explanation about how Snapchat works.
I love it.
I'm still a little confused about, but it was useful.
I'm sure she's told you what her favorite filter is on Instagram as well for those photos.
Well, absolutely. But it is interesting because young people, in some ways, are more informed than ever because they've got this basically library in their pocket that they're carrying around. On the other hand, I think they are less attached to some of the traditional ways of registering and voting, and that's why using iwillvote.com is so important. It's really easy for folks to get information about how they can get registered to vote, and especially to young people. I just want to make sure I say this. Look, if you're concerned about the cost of going to college, if you're concerned about where the jobs are going to be when you graduate, if you're interested in a trade or figuring out how you're going to save enough to buy your own home, if you want to make sure that women are getting paid the same as men for doing the same job, or once you have a family, that you're going to be able to take some time off if somebody gets sick, and you're not going to go broke if you get sick. These are all issues that really matter. They're going to count. And as I said, I've got a strong opinion that there's only one candidate in this race, Hillary Clinton, who's actually qualified to do the job and make good decisions for us. But regardless, you should do your own homework, but don't sit out on this thing. If you sit out, then stuff happens to you instead of you making your own decisions about where the country should go and what kind of opportunities you're going to have.
Mr. President, you mentioned your daughters. When you think about their future, just as a dad for a second, putting your dad hat on, what is your biggest concern for their future?
I've got, I'd say, a couple of concerns. Overall, I'm really optimistic. You think about what we've done over the last 8 years. When I came in, we were in a tailspin, and now the economy has grown for 7 straight years. We've cut the unemployment rate in half. America is well respected and strong and setting the agenda in most of the world. But a couple of things I worry about. I always worry about nuclear proliferation, and that'd be a game changer. And that's why I've spent a lot of time working to make sure, for example, that Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. That's why I get worried when I hear somebody like Donald Trump start saying, well, I don't necessarily know whether Japan or Korea should be protected by us. Maybe they should get their own nuclear weapons. That shows somebody who doesn't pay attention to these issues, and you don't necessarily want close to the nuclear button. I worry about climate change, and the fact is that we now have every successive year is the warmest year on record, and you're starting to see places like Miami where in the middle of the day you've got water coming through the ground. It's not coming over seawalls; it's coming up from underneath because the oceans are rising. And when you hear somebody like Trump say he thinks this is a plot of the Chinese, it's a fraud and a hoax, when 99% of scientists are saying, no, we got to do something about this, that worries me. And then finally, just on the economy, I want to make sure that we are preparing our young people for the jobs of the future and not just the jobs of the past. And that means that making sure that college is accessible. And I'm not just talking about 4-year college. I'm talking about 2-year colleges, community colleges, trade schools, making sure that people have the skills that they need in order to succeed. And I guess the last thing is making sure that we're not divided as a country. The country is becoming more diverse. And I know that's scary for some folks, but for most the kids I meet, and Malia and Sasha's generation, that's something that they welcome. They listen to music from every place. They see people from every background. The idea that you'd discriminate against somebody, whether because of race or religion or sexual orientation, that's not something that they understand. And obviously, when people get scared around the very real threat of terrorism, and that's something that obviously we have to be vigilant about, then demagogues can divide us, and we'll defeat terrorism. We'll defeat organizations like ISIL. They can't defeat us as long as we stay united. What can defeat us is if we react by saying that some Americans should be treated differently than others. That's where you start getting into trouble.
Sure. I know you've got just another moment. Sisney has a quick question. I've got the college lingo quiz, which I think your daughters would like for me to play with you. But first,
right,
Sisney, real quick.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
So my husband and I actually were married 2 years ago, and we recreated the picture of you and the First Lady on the couch. from your guys' wedding. We didn't do as good of a job, but we do have that. We have that
That's
up.
a sweet picture.
Yes, it's very sweet. We have that up at our house. And also, the First Lady actually told Oprah I think it was a few months ago, that she's looking forward to grocery shopping after you guys leave the White House, because that's one of the things that she misses doing. What are you looking forward to doing after you leave?
I tell you, I am just looking forward to taking a walk, and I've got to figure out, how soon I can do this, and whether I need like a full-on disguise or a baseball cap is enough.
Okay.
But just the idea of on like a nice Saturday afternoon, just walking outside, and I can sometimes take hikes, but it takes like 2 hours for Secret Service to get ready, and
they've got to hydrate. They got to pack the backpack.
Yeah, right. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Like a whole helicopters are hovering over, and if there's a body of water nearby, then suddenly there's like some, Coast Guard cutter, and the idea of me just being able to go take a walk peacefully, and maybe not even shave. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe
look out! Here comes the Obama shadow. The 5 o'clock shadow's coming out.
That's what that's exciting.
All right, quickly, you've got your daughters, as everybody knows. I think they're going to expect you to be a cool dad when this president thing is over. So let's just give you a quick college lingo quiz. These are words that the kids are using these days. And
I can tell I'm gonna fail this miserably, but go ahead.
Just see how it goes. So I'll use the word in a sentence. You tell me what the word means. I'll give you the word too. So the word is fam, and here's the sentence. My fam was mad deep up in the club the other day. What's fam mean?
Fam means family, like my crew.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
See? Come on, man. You're gonna have to make it a little tougher than this.
All right, here we go. Pitbull slayed it at our iHeartRadio Music Festival over the weekend in Las Vegas. What does slay mean?
Oh, he killed it. He was unbelievable. Yeah, he was great. Yeah, outstanding.
All right, that's two. Okay, finally, this one's a little more challenging. I asked her out, but I got curved.
Well, that's when that's a little bit like the Heisman. A little bit of a spit bump.
3 for 3.
That's where she did it in a nice way. So, but it was still pretty humiliating.
But she completely blew you up. Yeah,
I think we've all been curved at some point or another.
Yeah, I've kind of made a practice out of it, sir.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, those questions, were lit.
On that note, we allow you to run the world, sir. Thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it, President Obama. Make sure you get out, register, vote.
iwillvote.com and
right.
Text forward 47246. Go out there and make your mark in the world, people.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. He just used the word lit on me.
I love him.
I don't even know how lit.
Yeah.
He used it correctly.
He's cooler than us.
Wait, you have to pull that audio bite and play it after everything.
Is he now your everything? I thought Selena and Demi were your everything.
Yeah, they are. But the questions were lit was the best thing I've ever heard.